There are seniors right now living on the water full-time, exploring the coast, anchoring out in quiet coves, and doing it all without a massive budget. And if that sounds like something you want, you're in exactly the right place. A lot of people assume that getting into yacht ownership means spending $500,000 or more, but that's just not true. There are genuinely affordable yachts out there that are comfortable, capable, and built with simplicity in mind. Vessels that won't require a crew, won't drain your retirement savings, and won't have you pulling your hair out over complicated systems you never asked for. In this video, I'm walking you through 6 of the cheapest yachts that are ideal for seniors. We're talking real boats you can actually buy, live aboard, cruise in, and enjoy, without breaking the bank to do it. These vessels are manageable for one person or a couple. They've got solid used markets, and they're the kind of boats that get you on the water and keep you there without constant headaches. Whether you're dreaming of running the Intracoastal, snowbirding south for the winter, or just exploring the coast on your own schedule, there's something on this list for you. Now, before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about helping seniors and retirees find the right boat, the kind that actually fits your life, your budget, and the way you want to cruise. So if that sounds useful, go ahead and hit subscribe right now so you don't miss future videos. And if you find this one helpful, a quick thumbs up goes a long way in helping other retirees find this content. I'd really appreciate it. And here's a question for you before we dive in. Are you already a boat owner, or are you still in the dreaming and researching phase? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and it genuinely helps me make better videos for this community. All right, let's get into the list. Starting us off at number 1, the Catalina 34. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. A sailboat? Hear me out, because the Catalina 34 makes an incredibly strong case for seniors who want affordable cruising without the fuel costs that come with a motor yacht. The Catalina 34 is a well-built coastal cruising sailboat that's been around since the mid-1980s, and that's actually a good thing. It means there are hundreds of them on the used market, parts are widely available, and the design has been proven over decades of real-world use. Built on a solid fiberglass hull with a fin keel, it handles well in a variety of coastal conditions and tracks straight under autopilot, which is a huge help on longer passages. At 34 feet LOA, it fits comfortably in a standard 35-foot slip, which keeps your marina costs down. It's not a tiny boat. There's real living space below, but it's not so large that it becomes difficult to manage alone or as a couple. Single-handing this boat is absolutely doable, which matters if you're not always going to have a crew. Below decks, the layout is thoughtfully done. You've got a comfortable main salon with a settee that converts for sleeping if needed, a dedicated forward stateroom with a V-berth, an enclosed head with a shower, and a proper galley with a 2 or 3 burner stove, a full-sized icebox or refrigeration depending on the vintage, and enough counter space to actually cook a real meal. The nav station is a nice touch. You've got a proper place to sit with your charts and chart plotter, which makes navigation feel organized rather than chaotic. What makes the Catalina 34 particularly smart for senior cruisers is the combination of low running costs and simplicity. You're not burning diesel at 3 or 4 gallons an hour. On a good sailing day, you're burning almost nothing. The standing headroom below is a legitimate 6 feet in the main cabin, no crouching required, and the cockpit is well protected and comfortable for long days at the helm, with a dodger that keeps the spray off you on rougher days. The systems are clean and manageable. Most well-maintained examples will have an autopilot, a VHF radio, a chart plotter, and shore power capability. Some have been upgraded with solar panels and a lithium or AGM battery bank for anchor-out independence, which is exactly the kind of setup that makes off-grid nights possible without running a generator. Storage is solid throughout, with underberth storage in the forward cabin, cockpit lockers aft, and a decent lazarette for dock lines, fenders, and gear. That said, if you've never sailed before, there is a learning curve. This isn't a push-button vessel. But if you're open to learning, or if you already have some sailing experience, the Catalina 34 is one of the most manageable coastal cruisers you can own. A lot of older sailors will tell you this is the boat they wish they'd started with. On the used market, you're typically looking at somewhere between $15,000 to $35,000, depending on the year, condition, and equipment aboard. For a capable seaworthy cruising sailboat, that's a remarkable price. For retirees who want real coastal capability without the ongoing fuel expense of a powerboat, the Catalina 34 is one of the best values in the entire used boat market right now. Moving on to number 2, the Mainship 34 Trawler. This one's a classic in the senior cruising community, and for good reason. The Mainship 34 Trawler is a compact, dependable motor trawler that delivers everything most retirees actually need, without the size and complexity that comes with larger vessels. Built on a semi-displacement hull with a single diesel inboard, typically a Yanmar or a Volvo, the Mainship 34 is designed to cruise efficiently at 8 to 10 knots. At that speed, you're burning somewhere around 2 to 3 gallons per hour, which is a fraction of what you'd spend in a planing boat running at higher speeds. That fuel efficiency translates directly into longer range and lower running costs, both things that matter when you're on a retirement budget. At 34 feet overall, it's manageable in tight marina slips, and the single-engine setup keeps maintenance straightforward. There's no trying to sync twin engines or worrying about 2 gearboxes. One engine, keep it serviced, and you're good. Below decks, the layout is practical and comfortable. You've got a full-beam master stateroom aft, which is a real bedroom, not just a bunk, with a proper double berth and storage on both sides. The head is forward and enclosed with a stand-up shower. The main salon is warm and livable with a convertible dinette and wraparound seating. And the galley is set up for real cooking with a 2-burner stove, a refrigerator, and decent counter space. What sets the Mainship 34 apart for senior cruisers is how genuinely manageable it is to operate. The helm station is clean and intuitive, and visibility from the pilot house is excellent. You can dock this boat solo with a reasonable amount of practice, and the low freeboard makes boarding and line handling much more accessible than on higher-sided vessels. That's a real consideration as we get older, not having to climb up into the cockpit or struggle with heavy anchor chains. Many examples have been fitted with an electric anchor windlass, which is a huge quality of life improvement. Drop the hook with the press of a button, bring it back up the same way, no manual cranking required. The cockpit aft is comfortable for relaxing after a day on the water, and the flybridge on some models gives you elevated helm options with great visibility. Storage is handled through cockpit lockers and laserette space, with underberth storage in the stateroom. That said, it's not the fastest vessel on this list, and if you're in a hurry to get somewhere, you'll want to plan for that. But honestly, most senior cruisers aren't in a hurry, and that steady, fuel-efficient pace is exactly what makes trawlers so popular with retirees who want to actually enjoy the journey. Used Mainship 34 trawlers typically run between $25,000 and $55,000, depending on year and condition. Clean, well-maintained examples in the $35,000 to $45,000 range are out there and represent excellent value. For retirees who want a capable, comfortable motor trawler without a massive price tag, this one is genuinely hard to beat. Number 3 on the list is the Island Packet 35. Now, we're staying in the sailing world for a moment here, because the Island Packet 35 is one of those boats that keeps showing up in conversations about the best cruising sailboats for older sailors. And it earns that reputation every time. The Island Packet 35 is built on a full keel hull, which means it tracks extremely well under sail and on autopilot, handles weather helm gracefully, and is incredibly forgiving in challenging conditions. Full keel boats tend to be a little slower than fin keel designs, but they're steadier, more comfortable in a seaway, and much more tolerant of beginner mistakes. For senior cruisers, that confidence factor is worth its weight in gold. At around 35 feet LOA, this is a real offshore-capable cruising yacht that's been taken on long passages by couples and solo sailors across multiple decades. The build quality is exceptional. Island Packet is known for building conservative, heavily constructed boats with offshore standards in mind, even when most owners are doing coastal cruising. The interior layout is genuinely comfortable for extended cruising. There's a forward stateroom with a real V-berth, a well-appointed galley to port with a full-size stove and oven, refrigeration, and good counter space, an enclosed head with a shower, and a comfortable main salon with settee seating on both sides. Standing headroom is a proper 6 feet throughout the main cabin. The navigation station is dedicated and spacious, a real workspace for planning passages and monitoring conditions. What makes the Island Packet 35 stand out for senior sailors is the cockpit design. It's center cockpit on many models, which means the steering station is naturally protected, the sight lines are excellent, and the motion below decks is significantly more comfortable on passage, especially in a chop. The lines are led aft so you can handle the sails without leaving the cockpit, which is a major safety benefit for solo or shorthanded sailing. The boat typically comes with a good suite of electronics on well-maintained examples: autopilot, chart plotter, VHF, and often AIS and radar on boats that have been prepared for serious cruising. Shore power is standard, and many have been upgraded with solar and battery systems over the years. Now, the one honest trade-off with the Island Packet 35 is that it's a proper sailing vessel. It rewards good sailing habits and a willingness to learn the boat. If you're looking for pure push-button simplicity, a motor trawler might be a better fit. But if you're an experienced sailor or willing to spend time learning, This boat will take you anywhere you want to go with confidence and comfort. On the used market, Island Packet 35s tend to hold their value better than many comparable boats, which speaks to how well they're built and how much demand there is for them. You're typically looking at $30,000 to $65,000 depending on year, condition, and equipment. For a boat of this build quality and offshore capability, that price range is genuinely reasonable. And for senior sailors who want a real cruising yacht, this one belongs on the short list. Number 4 is the Carver 33 Aft Cabin. Switching back to powerboats, and this time we're looking at something a little different. The Carver 33 Aft Cabin is a classic American motor yacht that was built in serious numbers through the 1980s and 1990s, which means the used market is healthy, parts are easy to find, and prices are accessible. The Carver 33 is built on a fiberglass hull with twin inboard engines, typically Mercruiser stern drives, and rides on a modified V-hull that delivers a reasonably comfortable ride in moderate conditions. Twin engines give you redundancy and maneuvering flexibility in tight slips, which is genuinely useful when you're docking solo. And while stern drives require more maintenance attention than straight inboards, the upside is that they're less expensive to service and widely understood by marine mechanics across the country. At 33 feet, this boat fits in a standard 35-foot slip without issue. It's compact enough to manage comfortably as a couple, but the interior layout is surprisingly generous for its length, and that's really what makes the aft cabin design so smart. The layout gives you 2 separate sleeping areas, a forward stateroom with a V-berth up front, and a private aft cabin below the cockpit with its own double berth. That aft cabin is a real luxury on a boat this size because it gives couples genuinely separate sleeping quarters, or gives solo cruisers a comfortable private berth away from the main salon. The head is amidships and enclosed with a proper shower. The salon is warm and livable with a dinette and settee seating, and the galley runs along one side with a stove, refrigeration, and adequate counter space. What really stands out about the Carver 33 for senior cruisers is the sheer amount of living space you get for the price. This is a boat that feels significantly larger than its length suggests because of the thoughtful use of interior volume. The cockpit aft is comfortable for relaxing, and the helm station is straightforward with good visibility. The one caveat is that well-maintained examples of these older Carvers need careful inspection before you buy, particularly the stern drive systems and the engine compartment. That said, a properly serviced Carver 33 is a solid, comfortable cruiser that can run the ICW, explore coastal waterways, and handle overnight passages without fuss. On the used market, Carver 33 aft cabin models typically sell in the $15,000 to $35,000 range. Some cleaner examples with recent engine work and updated electronics come in a bit higher, but you can absolutely find a solid, ready-to-cruise boat at the lower end of that range if you do your homework. For seniors who want 2 sleeping cabins, real living comfort, and a manageable twin-engine powerboat at a genuinely affordable price, the Carver 33 delivers. Number 5 is the Hunter 33. Back into the sailing world, and this time it's a boat that's earned a strong reputation, specifically among cruising couples and first-time boat owners looking for simplicity, comfort, and value. The Hunter 33 checks all 3 of those boxes. Hunter Marine built these boats through the 1990s and early 2000s, and the 33 specifically was designed with ease of use in mind from the ground up. The hull is a proven mid-depth fin keel design that balances stability and performance. She's not a racing machine, but she sails well, handles predictably, and doesn't require constant attention at the helm on a steady course. Under autopilot on a good day, she'll practically steer herself. At 33 feet LOA, the Hunter 33 is nimble enough for coastal cruising, inlet hopping, and bay exploration. She fits comfortably in a 35-foot slip, and the simple single-engine diesel auxiliary, usually a Yanmar, makes powering through calms or into tight marina situations easy and predictable. Below decks, the interior is brighter and more open than you'd expect for a boat this size. Hunter used innovative hull shapes to maximize interior volume, so the main salon feels genuinely spacious for a 33-footer. You've got a comfortable settee and dinette to port, a well-positioned galley with good counter space and a 2-burner stove, a navigation area aft, an enclosed head with a shower, and a forward stateroom with a proper V-berth. Standing headroom in the main cabin runs close to 6 feet on most examples. For a boat in this price range, that's impressive. What makes the Hunter 33 particularly good for senior cruisers is how little drama there is to sailing it. The sail plan is manageable. You're not wrestling with a massive mainsail or an oversized head sail. Lines come back to the cockpit on most examples, so you're handling everything from a safe seated position. And the cockpit itself is deep and protected, with good coaming support on both sides. The autopilot, most examples have one, is a genuine quality of life upgrade on longer day sails. Engage it, relax, watch the scenery. That's what cruising is supposed to feel like. That said, the Hunter 33 isn't built to the same heavy offshore standard as the Island Packet or some of the older blue water boats. It's a coastal and near-coastal cruiser. Keep it in protected or semi-protected waters and it's perfect. Push it offshore in serious conditions and you're asking more of it than it was designed for. Know your limits and the boat's limits and you'll be completely fine. Used Hunter 33s are genuinely affordable, typically $10,000 to $28,000 on the open market. Well-maintained examples with recent engine work, decent sails, and updated electronics can be found in the middle of that range without much trouble. For seniors who want an accessible entry point into sailing, or who are stepping back from a larger vessel and want something simpler and cheaper to run, the Hunter 33 is one of the best deals in the used sailboat market right now. And our final boat, number 6, is the CHB 34 Trawler. The CHB 34 is a classic full-displacement trawler built in the 1970s and early 1980s by CHB Marine in Taiwan, and it has become a cult favorite among senior and retired cruisers, particularly on the Pacific coast and in Pacific Northwest waters. If you've spent any time in the trawler community, you've heard the name. These boats developed a devoted following because of how well they're built and how genuinely livable they are for extended cruising. Built on a full displacement hull with a single diesel inboard, typically a Lehman Ford or a Perkins, the CHB 34 is designed to cruise at a steady 7 to 8 knots with extremely low fuel burn. We're talking 1 to 1.5 gallons per hour at cruising speed. For a boat that's capable of serious passage making, that fuel efficiency is almost hard to believe. And with a fuel tank capacity of around 200 gallons on most examples, you've got a cruising range measured in hundreds of nautical miles before you need a fuel dock. At 34 feet overall, the CHB 34 has surprising interior volume because of the full displacement hull shape, wide beam, high freeboard, and a layout designed for full-time live-aboard comfort. Inside, you've got a full-beam aft master stateroom with a real double berth, not a converted settee, a well-equipped galley with a proper stove, oven, and full-size refrigerator on most examples, a comfortable main salon with a real dinette, an enclosed head with shower, and a separate pilot house helm station that keeps you sheltered from the weather while underway. That pilot house is one of the reasons Pacific Northwest cruisers love this boat. You can run through rain and cold all day long from a covered, comfortable helm without getting soaked. What stands out about the CHB 34 for senior cruisers is the stability and sea-keeping ability of the full displacement hull. These boats don't pound through chop like a planing boat. They roll through it smoothly and steadily. If you're prone to any seasickness or just want a smoother ride at sea, a displacement trawler like the CHB 34 is a completely different experience from a planing powerboat. The single-engine setup is beautifully simple to maintain. The Lehman Ford diesels in particular are legendary for their reliability and longevity. Many of these engines have been running for 40-plus years with proper care. Parts are still available and any competent diesel mechanic can work on one. Storage is generous throughout. Under berth storage, cockpit lockers aft, and a good-sized lazarette. These boats were built for people who actually live aboard and need real storage for real life. That practical approach shows throughout the design. The honest trade-off is that the CHB 34 is a slow boat by modern standards. 7 to 8 knots is the pace of life on a displacement trawler, and if you're not comfortable with that mentally, you might find it frustrating. But most trawler cruisers will tell you that's the whole point. You slow down, you enjoy the journey, you pull into beautiful anchorages and actually spend time in them instead of just rushing past. On the used market, CHB 34s have held their value remarkably well for boats of their age, which says a lot about how well they were built and how much demand there still is for them. Depending on condition, year, and how much recent work has been done, you're typically looking at $25,000 to $55,000. Well-maintained examples with updated systems and engines can come in higher, but clean boats in the $30,000 to $40,000 range are absolutely findable. For a full displacement trawler with genuine live-aboard capability, that's a serious value. For retirees who want a real home on the water, a boat that burns almost nothing, and a cruising lifestyle that's genuinely sustainable on a fixed income, the CHB 34 is about as close to perfect as it gets. So there you have it. 6 affordable yachts that are genuinely ideal for senior cruisers, from a fuel-sipping classic sailboat to a legendary displacement trawler and everything in between. Whether you're drawn to the low-cost sailing life of the Catalina 34 or the Hunter 33, the comfortable trawler lifestyle of the Mainship 34, or the CHB 34, the two-cabin practicality of the Carver 33, or the offshore capability of the Island Packet 35. There's a vessel on this list that fits your cruising goals and your budget. The thing all 6 of these boats have in common is that they get you on the water without destroying your finances to do it. You don't need a brand new 50-foot motor yacht to enjoy the cruising life. You need the right boat for your situation, properly maintained, and a plan for where you want to go. That's it. If you're still in the research phase, I hope this gave you some solid ground to stand on. And if you're closer to making a move, start reaching out to surveyors and brokers in your area. There are great deals on the used market right now, and the right boat is out there waiting for you. Drop a comment and let me know which one caught your eye, or tell me what you're already cruising in. I genuinely love hearing from this community. And if this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps more retirees find their way to the right boat. Fair winds and following seas. I'll see you on the water.